My name is Ricardo. I'm 35 years old. I bought this van 5 years ago. Built everything by myself, like the lift kit, the tires, roof rack, um, awning, 440 watts of solar, flat-mounted Starlink dish on the other side. It's a 2019 Ford Transit 250 low roof with the 148 wheelbase. This is my little dog Sushi. She lives in the van and in the semi truck ever since she's 7 weeks old. Basically, she owns the whole place. Yeah. You want to sit down? Good job. Yeah. It's pretty much a queen size bed, a fridge. At the moment, I have all my stuff from the storage unit in those two tubs. Usually, all that stuff disappears. I bought my ice cold fridge, which runs 24/7. It's very nice, keeps stuff cold. Recently, I installed a laundry basket, which holds all my clean laundry. The Starlink is installed in the corner. And then I have a gasoline webasto, which is basically run straight into the fuel tank. And I ordered that controller from Germany because I can remotely control it. I went with a small van because I wanted to spend so much time outside, especially in the summer, and it just motivates me to get outside more. Okay. Motivates me to go outside more. And still a construction zone, building it as I go. See, this side is going to be covered up too in the same way. This one is made with the quilted blanket, so I can change it whenever I feel like it. And less screeching than when you install wood, right? Yeah. And I got some LEDs up here, which I just recently broke the... Okay, stop it. Sit down. In the back, I got two 6-foot drawers, which one is filled up with recovery gear and everything I need for tire changes, and another drawer for camping stuff, like a little charcoal barbecue, and everything that I don't need on a daily basis. And then at the moment underneath here, which I have to take the fridge off to get it open, I have a actuator button here that I can actually open the front, and this has all my tools in it and stuff that I need to finish the build, which I'm doing for 5 years now. As you can see, there's still a door missing in my cabinet, super unorganized at the moment. There's still going to be some upper cabinetry that's going to go up there, you know, for spices and canned food and stuff. I just recently built this drawer down there with a seating area, with my leftover butcher block, I guess. So this is my electrical compartment, which houses outlets. Everything electrical in this van is contained basically inside here, which looks chaotic, but it's actually pretty organized. I got the 400 amp hour self-heating lithium iron phosphate battery from Renogy that goes to my 1000 amp bus bar, and then my DC to DC charger is installed over there. My solar charge controller and everything, the fuses and the breakers are in the front behind the seat. 2000 watt Renogy inverter charger with the transfer switch, so I can also plug stuff in on the other side of the box. And I work in the trucking industry, so every time I plug my van in, truck drivers keep stealing my power cord. So I run it through the door, lock the van so they can steal my power cord. 440 watts. There's two 220 watt bifacial panels from Renogy, which are doing pretty good in the winter, in the summer. In the winter, not so much. But with the 400 amp hours, like I'm sitting here for 2 days now, we don't have a lot of sunlight, and I'm still at 79% of the battery, since the fridge and the heater is the only thing that runs off the battery, right? And I ordered this Webasto controller from Germany because you can go in and actually set the temperature. And if I have to reprime it, because it goes straight off the fuel tank, if I go below a quarter fuel tank, it kind of loses its prime because the line doesn't go that deep into the tank. So instead of pulling the fuse all the time, I can just go in and basically into the settings and
reprime it from the
yeah,
settings.
I can just go into the settings and then go all the way back and just reset the heater, and it deletes all the alarm codes, and I can just restart it without having to pull fuses. This doesn't happen very often, but that one time you go on a big trip and you don't pay attention to it. Yeah. Yeah, and then recently I installed those mood lights, which I can turn into different colors, just so I don't have to run the big ceiling LEDs. And then I got my frying pan and my cook pot, which is non-stick, so it's very easy to clean with paper towel or wet wipes. Yeah, and then I basically try to keep everything to one pot meals, which usually ends up being pasta with hamburger sauce or other stuff, canned food sometimes. Yeah. Well, I bought quilted blankets because I had nothing, and so I put just curtain rods up there, those flexible ones. And when I'm driving, I just gonna open them up and say hi to my dog. And then at nighttime, I just close them and hang them in on the other side, and it's actually very nice. And I have another one that goes over here, which is magnetic, so to have more privacy. Even though during the daytime you can't see anything inside, even with the lights on, but at nighttime, of course, you can. So you just hang those ones in here, and then I use this magnet here and another magnet down here, and then during the day I just keep it open. Why do I live in a van? Because I work as a truck driver and I'm in a semi truck. I used to go long haul where I'm gone for like 20 days in a row, and I just couldn't see myself paying $3,000, $2,000, $3,000 in rent to live in a halfway decent neighborhood in Saskatoon. So I just decided I'm in a tin can all week anyway, so why not do that on the weekend? And the money I save on rent, I mean, I went on a 20,000 kilometer road trip in 22, which I'm going to repeat next winter. And it's just, I couldn't afford that if I would have to pay rent to someone. And especially high amounts of rent that get more and more unaffordable, right? And as a truck driver, I make a really decent amount of money, and even then it becomes almost impossible to do everything you want to do plus paying rent. Yeah, and I don't like the same place, so I like to move around. For van life, I was married, no kids. That didn't work out. So I lived in sticks and bricks, paid rent in apartments, but then I do a lot of seasonal jobs because in the oil field you can maximize the amount of money you do by just doing seasonal work and go where the best money is. And living in sticks and bricks basically limits the amount or the locations I can go, right? Because you always got to be back home, take care of your stuff. So for now, I have my home address in Fort St. John at a friend's house. He opens my mail for me, scans it in, emails it to me. Once in a while, I send him and his wife out for supper as a thanks for his service, basically. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Van life just made it so much easier. Everything so much easier. Yeah, gotta find places to shower, but as a truck driver, I got all card locks like Esso, Petrogas, Chevron. I can use those, gyms, public pools, like, because I don't pay rent. I got all that money now to just pay $7 a week or $10 a week to get 3 showers, right? So that's pretty neat.
And how has your life changed since van life, do you think?
Way more social, because you meet so many people on the road, and then in the area where you live, you start learning all the other van lifers. So you hang out once in a while, help each other, fixing stuff, setting stuff up, or just hang out and do nothing. Just be friends, have a beer here and there. Like we just came back from a 2-week venture on the island. From Denman Island, we went over to Cowichan Bay, Victoria, Jordan River, which is a beautiful campsite, right? So yeah, couldn't have done that if I had to pay rent. Some of the challenges of living in the van, try to not stay in the same spot every night, move it around so people don't notice you as much, because if you start parking in front of people's houses, that's something I wouldn't recommend. A shower is not so much a challenge, even though when it's cold outside and you don't really want to get dressed and then walk in to get a shower, come back. Challenges. So far, I don't think anything seems like a challenge to me, though. It's just a different way of doing things, right? Yeah, I could, like in the morning, I wake up, if I need to use the washroom, I have my emergency porta potty, which I like to cover up most of the time. Yeah, I used to do a van life in Saskatchewan and in Vancouver, and then go in to find a shower at -48, or the dog needs to go out, right? She luckily doesn't like winter, so she does her business very quick and comes back inside. The heater is running 24/7 in the winter, which is not a problem. Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason I splurged on that big electrical system, so she is safe, because the van is set up when it gets too warm in here, the fan turns itself on. If that gets too warm, it notifies me on my phone that it's getting too hot, and then I can start the van and run it indefinitely on a car starting system I installed, which has no time limit on it. I got coworkers that say if something is, unlock the doors, we take the dog out, put her in the office or whatever, right? So, and it's very nice on my new job starting next week, 4 days on, 4 days off. So I got so much time to explore. Yeah,
Yes.
some of the benefits. I'm so flexible when it comes to work. If I get disrespected in a bad way, or let's say there's some employees out there that just push and bully people around, and I don't have to put up with that, because they know I'm highly mobile. So it's a very different relationship between me and my employer, because I don't have to, like a couple months ago, for example, I got attacked by a coworker in Saskatchewan, and the boss didn't do nothing about it. So I just packed my stuff, gave him a handshake, and just moved on to a different job. And living in the van life, the big benefits is I can build up savings that I couldn't build up by living in a house, right? Because you got a phone bill, you pay rent, water bill, groceries, car payment, that all adds up. It just makes it unfeasible. You're less susceptible to bad treatment in any regards. Because if I don't like my neighbors, I move on. How much it cost me to get into van life? The van was initially 41,000, lucky before COVID, just a month or two, basically. And the initial setup, like all the wood you see here, it's less than $800. Like those are individual pieces, which I kept this way so my heater can draw all the moisture out of it if there's any. So there's no tongue and groove, nothing can get trapped behind it, right? The countertop was $200, plywood was maybe $300, the mattress was $400. The ice cold was a little on the pricey side, but worth like it's running for 4 years straight now, and it doesn't make a noise. Like sometimes I have to look, is it still running? Yeah, I would say less than $12,000 to build all this. And then the Starlink. I keep it deactivated when I'm in urban settings, but then when I go places like Arizona desert or Baja, Mexico, I can activate it on a monthly basis, or just deactivate it if I don't need it, because it's very handy. Get all your problems sorted out before you do van life, because just because you live in a van, your problems won't disappear. Have your financials inside, because there's challenges. Like if I have an engine failure, that's $10,000, or a transmission failure, that's $7,000, right? And have a little stack that can get you into a hotel room, for example, or maybe have good relationships with people in the house, so they give you the guest room for a while, right? Just yeah, problems don't disappear because you live in a van. They just follow you around. So yeah, have a good sense of humor to life, I guess. I don't know. Do it now, because you don't know if you can do it tomorrow. So when I was married back in the day, we had so many plans of traveling, and then once the ring was on the finger, it was basically, we can do that later when we retire. Now we have to have kids and do all that kind of stuff, and we shouldn't waste our money on traveling. And I'm the only one still alive from my friends I grew up with. Like I got 3 friends that passed away. I got one good friend that's still alive, but all of them wanted to do stuff and died with money in their bank. So they didn't do anything they wanted to do, which they could have if they would have, right? So yeah. And I recently just became a Canadian citizen too, so that's pretty neat. After 11 years in Canada, just January 16th. And I did my ceremony actually inside the van with a tablet, and that was pretty neat. Yeah.
Do you have anywhere you'd like to direct the viewers, like social media or anything like that?
Vanlife_Canada, with the A is basically a 4, like V4N_Life_Canada. I'm not so active on YouTube. I watch a lot of stuff, and do my little shorts here and there, but I don't take it seriously like others, right? But yeah, it's more Instagram. All my travel pictures are posted on Instagram.
Awesome.
It's a simple life, eh?
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.